Imagine this. Somewhere right now, another senior is sitting in a doctor's office hearing words no one ever wants to hear. It's dementia. And while the family is trying to understand, while the patient is holding back tears, there's a truth almost never spoken out loud. Sometimes it isn't just age or bad luck. Sometimes the culprit is hiding in plain sight. Not in your DNA, not in your lifestyle, but right inside your medicine cabinet. Yes, the very pills millions of us over 60 trust to sleep better, ease our pain, calm our stomachs, or lift our mood, may be slowly erasing the very memories we're trying so desperately to hold on to. That birthday of your grandchild, the name of your oldest friend, the independence to manage your own life, piece by piece, gone, not from aging alone, but from chemicals quietly interfering with how your brain stores and recalls your life story. And here's what stings the most. Researchers have been raising alarms for years. Some studies show these drugs can shrink key memory centers in the brain by nearly a third in less than 12 months. Yet, the prescriptions continue. The profits roll in, and 99% of seniors have no idea. That changes today. Because in this video, we'll uncover 7 everyday medications that can trigger dementia faster after 60, and what you can do about it. We'll reveal which ones are most dangerous, why they affect your brain so deeply, and the safer alternatives your doctor may never have told you about. And here's the hopeful part. Drug-induced memory loss is often reversible. Once the burden is lifted, clarity can return, energy can come back, and your story doesn't have to fade away too soon. So please, don't click away. Because I promise, by the time we reach number 3 on this list, you'll be shocked to learn how common it is and how it could be stealing your sharpness without you even realizing it. But first, let's begin with number 7. A pill so ordinary you'll find it in nearly every senior's home, yet it can quietly rob your brain of the very nutrients it needs to protect memory. Medication number 7. Proton pump inhibitors, heartburn pills that quietly starve the brain. Let's start with a pill almost everyone over 60 has heard of. Maybe you've taken it yourself, maybe you know a friend who swears by it. Pills like Prilosec, Nexium, or Omeprazole. They're called proton pump inhibitors, or PPIs for short, and they're prescribed for heartburn, acid reflux, or GERD. On the surface, they seem harmless, even helpful. They bring quick relief when stomach acid burns. Doctors sometimes keep patients on them for years, even decades. But here's the hidden problem. When you silence stomach acid too much, you also block your body's ability to absorb vital nutrients. One of those nutrients is vitamin B12. And B12 isn't just another vitamin, it's fuel for your brain. Without it, neurons struggle to fire properly. Messages between brain cells misfire. And over time, this can look and feel exactly like the early stages of dementia. Think about it. Forgetting appointments, losing your train of thought mid-sentence, mixing up words. It's easy to blame on just aging, but sometimes it's your body crying out for what it's missing. And it's not only B12. Long-term PPI use also interferes with magnesium and calcium absorption, minerals that play a critical role in keeping your brain cells connected and signaling smoothly. Now, I don't want to flood you with data, but let me share one study that shook researchers. In 2016, scientists in Germany followed over 73,000 people aged 75 and older. The seniors who used PPIs regularly were found to have a 44% higher risk of developing dementia compared to those who didn't. That's nearly 1 in 2. Does that mean every senior who takes heartburn pills will develop dementia? Of course not, but it should make us pause. Because what looks like a safe everyday pill may not be so safe for your memory. So what can you do? First, never stop cold turkey. Talk with your doctor. Ask if you can step down to safer alternatives like H2 blockers, famotidine, often sold as Pepcid. While not perfect, they're considered less risky for the brain. And don't underestimate natural aids. Something as simple as chewing deglycyrrhizated licorice, yes, licorice, has been shown to coat the stomach lining and soothe discomfort without disrupting your brain chemistry. The point here isn't to make you afraid of heartburn medication. It's to remind you that every pill has a price, And sometimes that price is your memory. Awareness is the first step. Because when you know the risks, you can take back the conversation with your doctor and protect your mind for the years ahead. Medication number 6, statins, cholesterol pills that may quiet the heart but cloud the mind. Now let's talk about a medication that has become almost a household word after 60, statins. Names like Lipitor, Zocor, or Crestor. They're prescribed by the millions to lower cholesterol and protect the heart. For many seniors, statins are part of daily life, taken faithfully with breakfast every morning. And yes, statins do save lives. They reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes. But here's the side of the story many seniors never hear. Your brain depends on cholesterol too. You see, nearly 60% of the brain is fat, and cholesterol is a key building block. It helps form the protective coating around nerves, the myelin sheath, that allows signals to travel smoothly. When cholesterol drops too low, or when certain statins cross into the brain, those protective coats can weaken. And when nerve signals stumble, memory and focus suffer. Many older adults on statins describe a strange kind of fog. They can't find the right word, they forget familiar routes while driving, or they struggle to recall simple details. Some even say they don't feel like themselves anymore. This isn't just in their imagination. In 2023, a study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience followed seniors over 70. Those who had been on statins for more than 3 years had a 26% higher risk of mild cognitive impairment compared to non-users. The effect was strongest in people on higher doses. Does that mean all statins are bad? Not at all. The truth is, not every statin acts the same way. Some, like pravastatin and rosuvastatin, don't easily cross the blood-brain barrier, and they tend to be safer for memory. Others, like simvastatin or aorvastatin, are more likely to slip into the brain and interfere with mental clarity. So what can you do if you've been prescribed a statin? First, don't panic. Statins have real heart benefits, and no one should stop them suddenly. But if you've noticed unusual brain fog, new forgetfulness, or difficulty concentrating since starting your medication, bring it up with your doctor. Ask if a switch to a brain-safer statin, or even a lower dose, might still protect your heart without dimming your mind. And here's the hopeful part. Many seniors report that when their medication is adjusted, the fog lifts. Conversations become sharper, memory steadies, life feels more like themselves again. Because your heart health matters, but so does your mind. You deserve both. Medication number 5, benzodiazepines, pills that promise calm but can quietly steal your mind. If you've ever struggled with restless nights or constant worry, you probably understand why millions of older adults turn to pills like Xanax, Valium, or Ativan. These belong to a group called benzodiazepines, or benzos for short. For many, the first dose feels like a miracle. The heart stops racing, the mind slows down, sleep finally comes. It feels like someone has turned down the volume on life's worries. But here's what few people realize. When you turn that volume down too far, night after night, the brain begins to lose its sharpness. Benzos don't just calm anxiety, they slow down overall brain activity. And when your brain is less active, it learns less, remembers less, and becomes less resilient over time. Some seniors describe it like this. It's as if I'm here, but not fully present. I forget conversations I had just yesterday. The world feels softer, but so do my memories. And this isn't just personal experience. Research has consistently shown a link between long-term benzo use and dementia. In fact, a study published in the BMJ followed thousands of seniors for 6 years and found that those who used benzodiazepines had a 50% higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. The longer the use, the greater the danger. The risk goes beyond memory. Benzos can increase drowsiness, slow reflexes, and raise the risk of falls and fractures, a serious concern for anyone over 60. So what can you do if you or someone you love relies on these pills? First, don't stop suddenly. Withdrawal from benzos can be intense and sometimes dangerous. The key is a gentle, gradual taper, always under medical guidance. Second, ask your doctor about alternatives. For anxiety, options like buspirone, work differently, and don't carry the same memory risks. For sleep, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, has been shown to be more effective in the long run than pills. Even simple changes like limiting caffeine late in the day, creating a calming bedtime routine, or trying natural aids like melatonin can make a real difference. Here's the hopeful part. Many seniors who taper off benzos report that the fog begins to lift. Their memory feels clearer. Their energy comes back. They reconnect with life in a way they thought was gone forever. Because true peace of mind isn't about silencing your brain. It's about keeping it calm, clear, and alive for all the moments that still matter. Medication number 4, amitriptyline, the old helper that slowly erodes memory. Sometimes the most dangerous pills are the ones that have been around the longest. Doctors have trusted them for decades, and many seniors are still prescribed them today. One of those pills is called amitriptyline, often sold under the brand name Elavil. It's what you might call an old helper. For years, doctors have handed it out, not just for depression, but for nerve pain, migraines, even trouble sleeping. If you've been given a little pill at night to help calm your body and mind, there's a good chance it might have been this one. On the surface, it sounds like a miracle. One pill, many uses. But beneath that promise is a hidden cost. Amitriptyline is one of the strongest anticholinergic drugs still in use today. Here's why that matters. Your brain relies on a chemical messenger called acetylcholine to form new memories and keep attention sharp. Amitriptyline doesn't just reduce it, it blocks it strongly. And when the brain loses too much acetylcholine, the ability to store and recall life's moments begins to crumble. For many seniors, the effects creep in slowly. At first, it might just be little slips, forgetting where you put your glasses, or losing a word mid-sentence. But over months and years, the changes grow. Foggy thinking, trouble concentrating, a memory that feels weaker than it should. This isn't just theory. In 2015, a major study published in JAMA Internal Medicine looked at over 3,400 adults aged 65 and older. The seniors who took higher doses of anticholinergic drugs like amitriptyline had a 54% greater risk of developing dementia over 10 years. That's more than half again the usual risk. And here's the troubling part. Many patients were never warned. They were simply told the pill would help them sleep or soothe their pain, without any mention of what it might do to their memory. So, what can you do? If you're currently taking amitriptyline, don't be alarmed, but don't ignore it either. Talk to your doctor about safer options. For nerve pain, medications like duloxetine or gabapentin can provide relief with much less risk to memory. For depression, newer antidepressants like sertraline or escitalopram are generally better for the aging brain. And for sleep, low-dose doxepin or even simple melatonin can be gentler on memory. The key is this: you don't have to trade your clarity for comfort. Relief from pain, migraines, or insomnia is important, but so is protecting the memories that make life worth living. Because your story, the moments, the faces, the experiences, deserves to stay with you. And the right choices today can help keep those memories strong for many tomorrows. Medication number 3, paroxetine, the mood pill that quietly undermines memory. Sometimes the very pill meant to lift your spirits can slowly take away the clarity you need to truly enjoy life. That's the hidden story of paroxetine, often sold to the brand name Paxil. Doctors often prescribe it for depression or anxiety, and at first glance, it looks like a modern solution. Paroxetine belongs to a group of antidepressants called SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Most SSRIs are considered safe for seniors, but paroxetine is the one exception. Why? Because unlike its cousins, sertraline or escitalopram, paroxetine has significant anticholinergic effects. In simple terms, it interferes with acetylcholine, the brain's messenger for memory and attention. So while the pill may ease sadness or calm anxious thoughts, it can also chip away at your ability to remember the very moments that bring joy. For many older adults, the trade-off goes unnoticed at first. Mood feels a little more stable, sleep might improve, but slowly, there's more forgetfulness. Misplacing keys, struggling to recall names, feeling like your mind is just a little slower. Over time, these changes can add up. One large review published in Frontiers in Psychiatry in 2021 examined seniors on different antidepressants. The results were striking. Those on paroxetine showed measurable declines in memory and attention within the first year, compared to those on other SSRIs. In fact, paroxetine users were about 30% more likely to show signs of cognitive impairment. And yet, many doctors continue to prescribe it, often unaware of how strongly it affects the aging brain. So what can you do if you or someone you love is on paroxetine? The answer isn't to stop suddenly. That could worsen depression or anxiety. Instead, ask your doctor about safer alternatives. Sertraline, Zoloft, or escitalopram, Lexapro, are both SSRIs that don't carry the same cognitive risks. For many seniors, these can stabilize mood without harming memory. And beyond medication, don't underestimate the power of natural supports: regular exercise, social connection, meaningful activities, and B vitamins, especially B12 and B6, which nourish both mood and memory. Here's the hopeful truth. When paroxetine is replaced with a safer option, many seniors notice their mind feels clearer again. Conversations flow more easily, focus improves. It's as if the fog has lifted and they can truly enjoy the emotional stability they were seeking in the first place. Because mental health and memory health are not separate. They are two sides of the same coin, and you deserve both: the calmness of a steady mood and the brightness of a clear mind. Medication number 2, antipsychotics. When a calm pill silences more than just agitation. Picture this: an older adult is restless at night, pacing, maybe a little confused. The family is exhausted. The caregivers are desperate for sleep. A doctor prescribes a pill, Seroquel, Risperdal, or Zyprexa, saying it will take the edge off and make things easier. And at first, it works. The senior seems calmer. The household is quieter. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief. But here's what often goes unsaid. These medications were originally designed for severe psychiatric illnesses, not for ordinary sleep problems, mild agitation, or forgetfulness. And while they may calm the surface, beneath it, they can quietly accelerate decline. Antipsychotics work by blocking dopamine, a chemical that helps control not only mood but also focus, motivation, and memory. When dopamine is suppressed, the brain doesn't just relax, it slows. Conversations fade, emotions flatten, personality weakens. Families sometimes say it feels like we lost them twice, once to the illness and again to the medication. And the risk isn't small. A 2022 study in The Lancet Healthy Longevity found that older adults prescribed antipsychotics for behavior changes were 71% more likely to experience rapid cognitive decline within a year, even if they had no dementia before starting. On top of that, these drugs raise the risk of strokes, falls, and even sudden death. So why are they still given? Often, it's because they seem like the easy answer in a difficult situation. But easy doesn't always mean safe. The good news is there are other ways. Gentle, non-drug approaches, like creating a calming bedtime routine, adjusting lighting, reducing noise, treating hidden pain, or simply adding more structure to the day, can ease restlessness without silencing the mind. And if medication truly is needed, doctors can explore safer options or use the lowest dose for the shortest possible time. Here's the hopeful part. When antipsychotics are reduced or replaced with better strategies, many seniors become more alert. They laugh again, they connect with family. The spark that seemed lost often flickers back to life. Because aging should never mean being drugged into silence. It should mean being present, still yourself, still connected, still alive in every sense of the word. Medication number 1. Anticholinergic polypharmacy, the silent pileup that doubles dementia risk. Sometimes, the greatest danger isn't one single pill. It's what happens when several harmless medications are taken together. Each one may look small on its own, but combined, they create a heavy burden on the brain. This is called anticholinergic polypharmacy, and it's one of the most overlooked threats to senior memory. Here's how it happens. Maybe you take diphenhydramine at night to help you sleep. Your doctor prescribes oxybutynin for bladder issues. Later, you're given amitriptyline for nerve pain. Each drug blocks acetylcholine just a little, but together, they can starve your brain of the chemical it needs to form and store memories. And because these drugs are so common, most seniors don't realize what's happening. They think their memory lapses are just getting older. But often, it's not age, it's the stacking effect of their medication list. The science is sobering. In 2022, researchers analyzed more than 280,000 older adults. Those with the highest anticholinergic load had a 120% higher risk of developing dementia within 10 years. That's more than double the usual risk. And here's the heartbreaking part. Most had no idea they were even on anticholinergic drugs. The symptoms creep in slowly. Misplacing objects, forgetting appointments, struggling to follow conversations, feeling foggy, tired, or not quite yourself. And because the changes come gradually, families often mistake them for normal aging until the decline becomes impossible to ignore. But here's the hopeful truth. Unlike many forms of dementia, drug-induced cognitive decline is often reversible. When the burden is lifted, when medications are reviewed, reduced, or replaced, the brain often begins to clear. Seniors regain clarity, reconnect with loved ones, and even feel younger again. So what can you do? Ask for a medication review. Bring your full list, prescriptions, over-the-counter pills, even supplements, to your doctor or pharmacist. Check for anticholinergic load. There are simple tools healthcare providers use to calculate the cumulative effect of your medications. Prescribe safely. With medical guidance, unnecessary drugs can be tapered off. Safer alternatives can be found. The brain can recover. This is perhaps the most empowering message of all. You are not powerless. The fog of memory loss is not always fate. Sometimes it's preventable, sometimes it's reversible. Because your memories are more than chemistry. They are your story, your legacy, your life. And with the right steps, you can protect them, so they remain yours to share, not something taken away silently by a handful of pills. We've covered a lot together. 7 medications, each common, each trusted, yet each with the power to quietly chip away at memory and accelerate decline after 60. From heartburn pills to sleep aids, from antidepressants to bladder medications, and finally the hidden danger of multiple drugs stacking against your brain. All of them share one truth. They interfere with the delicate balance your memory depends on. But here's what I want you to take away most of all. This is not the end of the story. Unlike many causes of dementia, the memory loss linked to these medications is often reversible. When the burden is lifted, when the right adjustments are made, the brain has an amazing ability to bounce back. Seniors who once felt trapped in fog often find clarity returning. Families rediscover conversations, laughter, and connection. That is why knowledge is power, because now you know what to look for. You know the questions to ask, and you know that just aging isn't always the answer. So here's my challenge to you. Take a moment this week to review your medicine cabinet. Write down every prescription, every over-the-counter pill, every supplement. Bring that list to your doctor or pharmacist and ask, do any of these increase my anticholinergic load? Could they be affecting my memory? It might be one of the most important conversations you'll ever have. Not just for your health, but for your independence, your relationships, your life story. And remember, you are not alone in this. Thousands of other seniors are asking the same questions, facing the same fears, and discovering the same hope. By sharing your story in the comments, what medications you're on, what changes you've noticed, you could help someone else take the first step toward protecting their memory. If this video gave you clarity or strength, please like it, share it with a friend or family member, and subscribe to Golden Pathways. Together, we are building a community that refuses to let aging mean silence, confusion, or loss. Because you deserve more than just years. You deserve years filled with meaning, memories, and connection. And protecting your brain today is the best gift you can give yourself for tomorrow. Stay hopeful, stay curious, and stay connected. And as always, thank you for watching, thank you for sharing, and thank you for walking this pathway to healthier aging with us.